Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of the Holy SwiftUI application. Now, as the introduction states, this application itself works primarily in figuring out ways we can handle the likes of UIKit and AppKit capabilities within SwiftUI views and making them a lot more easier to access. Now, in today's episode, well, this being the first episode, we're going to be looking back at an idea that I had of mine at a video I had last year, where we were to change the background of the UIWindow scene color and then being able to manipulate the background color to show off within the likes of presentations, modals, maybe you might be doing some other things with it, just some very exciting stuff. Now, of course, this isn't really required within a lot of your applications, but if you really want to have fun with the likes of maybe the color scheming and tinting of the application, then why not, of course, figure out this way. Compared to the likes of me exposing this application or SwiftUI application to UIKit and then managing a lot more of the window scene and view controllers and hosting controllers, we're going to be working directly with SwiftUI. So there's no need to change around the scene, mess around with scene delegate, app delegate as much, and then still be able to keep a lot of the capabilities like on OpenURL and other user activities. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and show it off. So here we are within the content view. We can go ahead and head over to the app. And as you can see, this is our window group. So if you can imagine, if I can actually run this back up, we can remember that throughout the likes of the view hierarchy, that more of the window scene acts as more of the background of your application. So as you can see, we have the stack here. We have our content view within the hosting controller with its hello world right here. And here's the window scene. So that's showing when the likes of when the application goes in foreground, background, inactive, and other states I can't name. And this is pretty much what you view once you're in the likes of a sheets, for example. So when this is, of course, presenting a sheets, it's popping over, and then the background or this view controller moves a little bit behind to where it can expose the background color for the window scene itself. And as mentioned within the video previously that I've done last year, we went ahead and changed around this entire SwiftUI application, which runs within the likes of a actual window group and not the likes of any other UIKit capabilities. Then what I actually noticed myself within application that I utilize this in is that it messes up a lot of the already built-in SwiftUI modifiers that handle the likes of opening URLs, user activity, and other many things that would just mess up a lot of the connections and communications within your application. So we want to, as mentioned, we want to be able to keep all of that whilst being able to have this background. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'll go ahead and in the application running on the Win simulator. And then pretty much if you're already familiar with it, we're going to go ahead and create a app delegate. So final class app delegate that is not spelled correctly, but is a sub of UI responder, which handles a lot of the events happening within applications, and the UI application delegate. And I believe it's probably going to complain. Oh, it's not going to complain. I thought that was a required method, but when we say application did finish launching with options, we can just say return true, which I've never really been too sure what this application does, but it's the first method within your applications once it's get loaded within app delegate, where it handles, or you can handle the likes of many other things, like maybe changing the style of like the navigation bar globally within your application, especially for SwiftUI or other events within it that you might want to maybe use Firebase to configure. So many things that you can do with this application before a lot of the views and stuff load that are handled here. And same thing goes here as well. So actually, let's go back into this content view, and I'll just throw on a sheet that should present just to show you that something should show sheet content. As you can see, you can notice, as mentioned, if you work with sheets within SwiftUI or UIKit, that the content view or this content right behind it moves more to the back while this presents up, and then for preview sake, this is always a white background. Okay, so back in here, since we're utilizing the likes of the UI application, which is our instance of this application, we can go ahead and access the windows, which are pretty much just whatever your application is displaying. Now, I believe when it comes to the likes of share screen within iPad, I think these had a little bit of a difference. I haven't actually utilized the likes of multiple windows and window scenes for iPad multitasking, but this might be different. But for today's sake, we'll just be working with actual iPhone application. Okay, so let's go back in and run this back on the simulator and let it load up. And as you can see, as mentioned, this is white, or this is black, and the background is black with this content moving behind, and we want to be able to change that. So pretty much really simple. So if we can say if let windows or window, the first window of the application, and that's going to be application.windows. Now this is a deprecated property, but it still works. Now if we have to maybe where like the connected scenes and stuff, I'm just minimizing it for today's purposes, and it's always the first one. And funny thing about it is that we actually have to wait just a bit for the application actually loads. As mentioned, this loads before anything else, or this function is called anywhere else before other code is called within your application. So I forgot, we can actually say dispatch queue main.async, or you can maybe use the likes of like a timer, for example, but we can give it a deadline of the time of now. And the sweet spot for me to get this loading, because this will show, especially when it's in this sheet state where this will change and it won't look good, we can give it some time to wait just a bit even before the user does anything else in the application. So as mentioned again, if let window equal application dot window dot first, the first window, then let's go ahead and after that say window dot background color. Let's set it to, let's have some fun. Let's be brown today. I forgot one more thing. Actually, with SwiftUI, we don't handle the likes of app delegate because it's not a call here. So we actually had to make a UI application delegate adapter, app delegate dot self. There we go. And that's this app delegate class. And then we can just say var app delegate. Okay, cleans it up and it should call now. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, it's that simple. So to run this back, let's see what we did here once again. So first, we created an app delegate class that is correspondence to UI responder, which handles the events within your application. And then of course, UI application delegate, which handles anything else that's happening when your application loads. Now, when we're doing in here is that the launching with options, of course, this is the first method that it gets called within your application before pretty much anything else goes. So we're handling the likes of that by waiting on holding out a few milliseconds, because this method or the window actually does not load immediately once the application is loaded. It does take this some milliseconds. Then pretty much we're just getting the first window as mentioned for iPhone and application.windows.first, and then we're being able to immediately change the window background color to a UI color. Then of course within our main app struct within the window group, we're pretty much just adding a delegate adapter, which allows us to immediately initiate the app delegate class. So there's some stuff to it, and definitely this is a way easier and understandable method of work. Overall, hey, look, this is a working thing. Now if we wanted to maybe have some fun with it, go like a purple, system purple, then you see now we have a purple background and it looks great. All right, and there's the implementation, and hopefully you learned a lot about UI application delegate adapters and UI app delegate within SwiftUI, and hopefully we can have some more fun with this application. And that's all in this video. All we did was just set the background color for the UI window. Well, it's gone now, but all we did was set the background color for the UI window, and as mentioned, it was very much purple. Thank you for watching, and of course, if you have any other recommendations or tips and tricks you want to see within this video, then please drop them below. If that's it, then yeah, have a good day.